All right, let's go to one of our top stories now. In fact, we'll go to where my colleague is, Natasha, Phiri, with the Inkatha Freedom Party celebrating 50 this weekend. The Golden Jubilee festivities are taking place at the historic Jabulani Amphitheatre, and that's where we find our colleague Natasha Phiri. Natasha, a very good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. Tash, 50 years, quite a milestone there. What are we expecting to hear from the IFP?
Well, thank you so much, Criselda. Indeed, 50 years indeed. And as you actually just, introduced the story, it seems as if the clouds are now open and it's starting to rain. Criselda, as you've correctly cited, IFP has turned 50 years. And of course, they had, if you would remember, their celebrations, their main celebrations in Ulundi in KZN in March. And of course, the party leader then had indicated that the various provinces would also have their own celebrations. And of course, this time around, it's descended upon the province of Gauteng. Just to get straight into it, I'm joined by the chairperson of the IFP here in Gauteng, Babong Kosidlamin, who's also the MEC of e-governance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Baba, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. 50 years of the IFP. Let's just look at the province of Gauteng and your performance. Weeks ago, I think you, as the IFP, had welcomed over 300 members. You've always indicated time immemorial that you want to grow your base here in Gauteng, and how's that faring so far?
Oh yes, you remember very well that when we took leadership of the IFP in Gauteng, we cast a vision that we want to consolidate what we have, register growth in our party, and grow the party beyond its so-called traditional base. That is why we are growing as a party. We are really growing as a party. Remember, when we took over, we had only 43 branches. We have got 105 branches in good standing in Gauteng. We are represented in almost all municipalities. We did very well in the last local government elections and in the last national elections. That is why, as the IFP in Gauteng, we play a very significant role. We are part of government in the province. We are part of government in the city of Johannesburg. We are part of government in Mogale City. We are part of government in Merafong City. We are part of government in Tshwane and in Ekurhuleni. Therefore, we are really growing as a party. That is why, for us, this day of celebrating 50 years of the IFP is very important here. We are going to be using this launch today as a launching pad to prepare ourselves for the 2026 local government elections next year.
And let's talk about that. Next year's elections, local government elections, what areas are you looking at? And perhaps the performance also of some of your MMCs. One comes to mind is Umlungisi Mabazi.
Oh yes, I mean, we are deploying young people, young blood. The latest deployee of us is our councillor in Ekurhuleni, a 32-year-old Mtu. You know that Umlungisi Mabazi is doing very well as MMC for human settlement, and all other young councillors are really doing well. Therefore, we are in Tshwane, we had the young MMC Comrade Uzianda Zwane. In Mogale City, we've got Unkosi, who is the deputy executive mayor. We've got MMC Unkwanyana, Emirafong City. Therefore, young people are really doing wonders for the IFP.
Yes. I mean, when is IFP going to have its conference? I mean, you've been postponing this conference. It was supposed to take place between July and August. We haven't heard anything. Are you done with the branches? What's happening?
We are not done with the branches. The problem is that the party is growing. As you say, as I say, we are busy with inauguration of branches. We are auditing our branches because we cannot go to branches with POCAS. Not go to conference with POCAS branches. Our deadline is March next year. We're not saying it's going to be in March this year, but we were supposed to have it by December this year. But we are preparing for it, and we are ready for the conference. But we are not in the rush as the IFP. There's no crisis here. We can't fix what is not broken. As a party, we are fixated with preparing the party for the 2026 local government elections.
You know, when you say there's no crisis here, you're actually echoing the words of the party spokesperson, who said that 3 weeks ago. But I want your take as the Gauteng chair of the IFP. Earlier on this year, we heard Ubab Hlabisa saying that there's a character assassination against him because you're going towards a conference. What are your sentiments? Is there factionalism within the party, within the IFP?
No, there's no factionalism within the IFP. In fact, it is outsiders who really envy us and they are trying to stir some conflict within the IFP. But as a democratic party that does not anoint leaders but elect leaders, yes, there is contestation, there are people who've got ambitions, but it has not it has not graduated into factionalism that really threatens the unity of the party. We are united in our diversity as a party with choices of leadership that we want, which is it's healthy for any democracy. But we don't have a crisis. I can tell you, we don't have a crisis.
Mr. Tlamin, I'd like to get your take on what's been happening. Just nationally, we've seen the Madlanga Commission, we've seen the ad hoc committee in Parliament. Something that's happened in Gauteng, the looting, the alleged looting of the Tembisa Hospital, properties being seized by those who are actually implicated. What is the ISP's, stance on this very issue?
As you know, that in our manifesto, we pledged to South Africans that one of the things that we will be fighting against is corruption. Therefore, one of the biggest things and South Africa did in the last elections is that they did not put their eggs into one basket. Nobody won. One of the good things about your national government of national unity, provincial government of unity, is that it is a mitigation factor that nobody can steal now on our behalf, because we are all now in the kitchen. Therefore, we're looking at the situation with the outcome of the Madlanga Commission, the ad hoc committee, and that is why even here in Gauteng, the Premier himself has taken serious decisions and serious actions against the so-called Tembisa corruption. Therefore, nobody can really steal on our behalf. We are not in the government for pegs. We are in government to make sure that government delivers to our people and we bring back that hope to our people.
And talking about that, I want to focus on your position in as an MEC in Gauteng. The last time I spoke to you was, I think, last year in December, when you're launching the local government barometer. Now, this barometer, for our viewers who don't know, and Griselda, if she doesn't know, it's meant to monitor the performance of various municipalities and to rate them. How far are you faring in that? How far is the portal? Can viewers who are probably watching now, who actually want to report bad or good running municipalities, have access to that online platform where they can rate their municipalities?
Oh yes, our mandate as the Department of E-Government is that we must digitize all government services and make it easy for our people to access government services. There are many applications that we have developed. Apart from the barometer, there is iPad, where even the Department of Infrastructure Development is able to track the development of your contracts, of your projects. Therefore, the barometer that we launched last year in the Department of Cooperative Governments, it's monitoring government services in all municipalities. Secondly, apart from services, it's also monitoring complaints by residents. Therefore, they must just go to the website of the Department of Cogta in Gauteng. They will be able to access that app and be able to log and track their complaints. So it has worked. It has worked very well. In fact, I think we are the only province in South Africa where there is what we call your intergovernmental relations works really very hard. The application that we are using of e-panic button, where people are able just to press a button and be able to, either you want medical attention or you want police to respond. We are now signed a memorandum of understanding with all municipalities, and we are onboarding your EMSs, your metro police, and your ambulances, so that people are able to get that service. Therefore, as a department, yes, we are really modernizing our government services.
And Mr. Tlamin, can you perhaps tell us which is the best or the worst performing municipality? Weeks ago, I was in Mirafong and Kutsong. The issue of the sinkholes is a pertinent issue. For the fact that the Premier even came onto the SABC News platform to say that he fears the worst, that the entire municipality could actually one day be at a demise.
It is a big threat, the issue of sinkholes in Morafong, and it's been also being complicated by your zamazamas, the illegal miners, and we are really appealing to our people in Morafong that they must cooperate and work the government for them to be moved there. People have sentimental values with their properties and so forth, but it is a disaster that people really need to move. Yes.
And worst and best performing municipalities in Gauteng?
The best performing municipality in Gauteng, I mean, they are all trying, but I can safely say that Tshwane is doing a very good job. Yes.
And then just lastly, coming back to proceedings of today, how many people are you expecting here?
The venue itself, officially, it takes about 6,000 people, but we know that it's small for us, but we chose it for political sentimental values, because it, for us, Jabulani Amphitheatre is like a political mecca for our liberation struggle. All the rallies in the dark days of apartheid, other UDF, ANC, IFP, we all converged here to fight against apartheid. Therefore, we are expecting about just over 10,000 people.
Dlamini, thank you so much. Of course, Griselda and our viewers, that was Bonkosi Dlamini, who's a chairperson and has been the chairperson of the IFP in Gauteng since he was elected in 2019. Of course, talking to us on a myriad of issues, not only on the attendance here of those 6,000 people and what is expected to actually happen here today, but of course, national issues that also pertain to his department and of course, the various municipalities here in Gauteng. Of course, Griselda, we will be giving you live updates on this very issue, not only talking to the leadership here, but of course the ordinary people, IFP members and supporters, and of course those who are waiting eagerly to hear what Mr. Velenkosi Nhlabisa has to say. With that said, it's back to you in studio.